One of my all-time favourite games is Nights into Dreams. I have absolutely the fondest of memories of the game when it launched on the Sega Saturn back in 1996, blowing me away with incredible graphics, gameplay and sound. It was, and still is, one of the greatest games me and my group of friends had ever played. Then, when Sega released Christmas Nights in late 1996 as a free gift to Saturn players picking up one of Sega's big games that winter, it was even more incredible and topped off one of my favourite gaming years to perfection. The story of that particular Christmas can be found in my Christmas Nights video, which I'll link to in the description if you want to go check that out. It's a cracker. By the end of 1997, it was clear that the writing was on the wall for the Saturn, having lost out significantly to the new kid on the block in Sony's PlayStation, which was selling millions upon millions of consoles at an incredible rate. So when the Dreamcast was announced in 1998, I wondered if perhaps the time was right for Nights to make a triumphant return. Sega were throwing everything they had at the Dreamcast, desperate to claw back market share from Sony, and one of their first big guns was the incredible looking Sonic adventure headed up by Nights creator Yuji Naka, who apparently was very involved with the development of the Dreamcast project himself. Sonic's return was a given, but with Nights' cult classic status already well established, could the time now be right to put out a sequel and take this incredible game to the masses? I certainly hoped so. But as the Dreamcast launched in Japan in late '98 and time ticked on, there was no sight of the young jester-like whippersnapper anywhere to be seen. Very odd, as Nights was arguably the closest the Saturn ever got to a mascot, as much as Sega potentially wanted to forget that console's troubled existence. But with Yuji Naka himself wanting to use Nights to reinforce Sega's identity, surely there had to be something Nights related in the offing. It wasn't until December 2000 that there was finally a hint of information about a Nights sequel, as in an interview in the UK's official Dreamcast magazine, issue 14, Yuji Naka spilled the beans on some behind-the-scenes happenings in the world of Nights. As disappointing as the current state of the project was, the article spoke thus: "I know a lot of people love it and want us to make a sequel," says Naka. "But for us, it's a really important game. Like the way Spielberg likes E.T. so much, he won't remake it. I don't want to make another Nights." The hearts of thousands of Nights fans can be heard crash into the floor, interjected the official Dreamcast magazine. As soon as we realised this, we stopped making it. Stop making it? Questions ODM. Yes, we made it up to a certain point. You know linear sensors? Well, we made this system where you could remove the cable from the original pad and control Nights like this, Naka explained, enthusiastically looping and twisting a copy of ODM around in front of him. It was called Air Nights. We made it on Dreamcast for a while as well, but we stopped. And there spoke everything Yuji Naka ever spoke about his sequel. At the time, I couldn't really understand what on earth he was talking about, and in fact, reading this now, it's still kinda confusing. I think the part about linear sensors seems to relate to tilt and positional functionality. The example where he waved the rolled up magazine around I can obviously relate to more, as the illustration is close to what we actually got with the Wii controller, and specifically the way you could control Nights in the eventual sequel, Nights Journey of Dreams, as disappointing as that game turned out to be. But was Sega really so far ahead of the game that they effectively envisioned the Wiimote long before Nintendo implemented it? Well, it would certainly make these pictures of a Dreamcast prototype motion controller make sense. Even though they never released this, it's fascinating to be able to look back and see the interesting things they were dabbling in. And that was always something I loved about Sega. As out of pocket as they ended up, they'd like to try things out. Can you tell I'm still a Sega fanboy at heart? As it turns out, this technology did eventually go into the creation of Samba de Amigos Maraca controllers, so it wasn't all just shelved entirely. And so, with that, that's all the info we ever seem to get about Yuji Naka's concept of a Night sequel. No beta of the game has ever showed up, and as far as I can tell, there's nothing more that's ever been said about it. Although Yuji Naka did eventually end up returning to the world of flying characters in the poorly received Wii and Wii U game Rodeo the Sky Soldier, it was perhaps not quite the spiritual sequel from the man behind the original NiGHTS that we all hoped it would be. But then again, he never said it would be, and this wishful thinking was more of a personal hope than anything else. And while Journey of Dreams was probably not what Yuji Naka, or in fact us as fans, wanted out of a NiGHTS sequel, perhaps one day more will come out about Sonic Team's true follow-up, this elusive and mysterious Air NiGHTS, whatever state it's in. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Same Grig time, same Grig channel. Laters. So just before we finish today, I just want to give some shout outs to two guys who've been really awesome towards me ever since I've started making a few videos again. First up is Pixels Limited, who has made some amazing content since he started up his channel and has been kind enough to help me out by promoting my channel and his videos. Seriously, go and check out his channel if you haven't already, because it's some seriously high quality stuff. Second is the Savage Gaming Show, featuring some amazing and entertaining videos about retro gaming, and who has been kind enough to give me a shout out on Twitter. Thanks to him, I picked up a copy of Mighty Final Fight and have had a great time with it, so much appreciated, sir. So please make sure you subscribe to these guys, because you really will be doing yourselves a favour. The links are down in the description, so make sure you give them a sub. Thanks guys, laters.